What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. No way. Alright, so we all know what's going down Friday night in Saudi Arabia. And I want to talk about a couple of things in this video. One, now, for the people that's picking Joseph Parker to beat Zhang is because of the fight that he had with Philip Ergovich. Now, there's a lot of people that think that Zhang really won that fight. And in terms of how people see Erkovich versus Parker, because Parker had slipped and wasn't looking like the same fighter for a while, people probably put Erkovich over Joseph Parker. Now, since he did what he did with Wilder, people are looking at him differently. Now, for those who are making excuses for Wilder instead of just, hey man, the better man won, I don't care about all that. For me, this is going to be the first really big test for Joseph Parker, since he got beat up by Joe Joyce. Because with Wilder, one-trick pony. We already know Wilder doesn't present any threat in terms of boxing skills, ring IQ, boxing knowledge, ring generalship. Wilder is just a guy that kind of fights instinctively and just go off the moment. But he doesn't know how to create holes, set traps. Like, Wilder's not that guy. So, I always said when he steps up in competition, he's going to lose. And you're going to see it. And it happened. So, this is going to be the first real test that he's had, where he's in there with a guy that can punch and can box. And it's like 280-something pounds. Well, for Joseph Parker, if his legs is not gone, because he's going to have to move and box and be smart against Zhang, I don't know that his legs will hold up, because I haven't seen him use his legs effectively in a long time. So I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens, but that's why people are picking Parker, because they feel like he can outbox Zhang. People sleep on Zhang's boxing ability. Zhang can actually box. Zhang basically, for the people that's picking him to win, is because they're looking at what he did to Joyce, and they're looking at what Joyce did to him. But the difference is, and this is why you can't always go by, you really can't go by he beat him so he'll beat him, or somebody has to win. Between the two of them, this is what people have to understand. Erkovich is a boxer. Not the craftiest guy, but he's a boxer. He's known to be tough and durable. And, he'll hang in there and he'll fight all night. Joe Joyce is a relentless puncher that comes forward with pressure. Joyce is getting older now. He can't put that same punch output like he used to. You see what happened with, Jarrell Miller in his last fight. When you lose that, Paul Williams was that type of guy. Margarito was that type of guy. And when you can no longer put that volume of punches out, it's different. So, for Joe Joyce, stylistically, it was a problem. He's a mismatch for Joseph Parker. And I believe if they fought again, it'd be the same outcome. Now, what could work in Joseph Parker's favor is that he's much younger, and Joyce can't put that same output out like he used to. And I don't know if maybe since he's been knocked out by Zhang, if it is the type of thing where now he's like maybe softened up to where he can't take the punches like he used to. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen Joyce since he lost. So, I think that when you like, for me, when I look at all of these things, I feel like, you got one guy that was just relentless pressure and activity. Bottom line, volume punching. Joyce is not a boxer. He's not a smart boxer. He's just, like I said, that's why they call him the Juggernaut. Relentless pressure, activity, lots of activity, and just, volume punching. And the ability to absorb a great shot. That's Joe Joyce. No defense, no footwork, slow. That's Joyce. Now, when you look at him, and you look at like him beating Parker, and you look at Urkovich getting the win over Zhang, but these both guys are both box. The difference is, like, if you compare, if you compare Parker and Zhang, who are both boxers, when you match them with each other, it's a completely different fight than fighting those other guys. They're not even similar. So when you compare them, who's going to be sharp? Who's going to basically have better punch placement? Who's going to, not waste shots, conserve their energy, and be able to, like, be effective with counters and all that, and whoever's first. I mean, everything. Like, it's gonna come down to them, the two of them, both being boxers. I feel like the one that can hold their composure is gonna be the one to win. Meaning, like, example, if Zhang is landing that jab and he's working off of that jab, and this causes Parker to feel like he has to do something different to get in, right? And it may come down to that. If he can do it without being desperate, he can be effective, and maybe he can find, a way to nullify it. But if it gets to the point where I got to turn it to a fight, I have to just, go and do, like he tried to do that against Joyce, and it didn't work for him. I feel like if he has to do that he's going to lose his composure in doing so, because you're not putting pressure on the guy to outbox him. You're putting pressure on him to try to knock him out. Now, for Zhang, it's like, if Joyce is moving and he's able to stay away from Zhang and then make Zhang get desperate and start trying to land something because he can't keep up with him, can't catch up to him, and say Joyce is pop shotting and getting shots in, and Parker, and he's doing these things, he's pop shotting and he's getting in, landing shots and moving and being able to stay out of the way. Same thing. Between the two of them, Zhang seems to be the more composed. Between the two of them, if you look at both of their histories, he seems to be the one to be more composed overall. Height advantage, size advantage, reach, all of that. Powerful, and he's a good boxer. This is going to show us, after, like I said, it doesn't matter what people think. The fight itself is going to show us exactly, what they're made of. So, if Joseph Parker can get past Zhang, he should be in the title mix real soon. Vice versa. Dillian White, from what we understand, what was it, yesterday or the day before, that I heard that he's been cleared to fight. Now, I don't think the Saudis want to bring a guy fresh off of a long layoff onto their card. I think Dillian White's gonna have to get in the ring, fight somebody first, and press them enough to get on the card. Now I'm thinking, okay, now with White back in the picture, does his name come up against Deontay Wilder? Even if it does, Dillian White is not a guy that, he's not looked at the same way. And remember, he was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua, and then he failed his test again. I don't know what's going on in boxing, man, where it's like all of a sudden, without any real information, fighters are just cleared to fight. They're just back all of a sudden. So anyway, that fight I'm looking forward to. That fight particular, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens between Zhang and Parker. And may the best man win. Now, Anthony Joshua and Ngannou. Long story short, Anthony Joshua should be able to beat the shit out of Francis Ngannou. Fuck all of that. Oh, nobody's been able to put a dent in this guy. Oh, the size of his neck, the size of his head. Oh, he's huge. So what? So what? AJ is. Here's the funny thing. You see how people reference Usyk as being small. So when we say this little guy, we mean the fact that him coming from cruiserweight up to heavyweight, fighting guys that's been walking around 250, 260. This is what we mean. Well, at least for me. I don't, speaking for myself. Usyk is not a small guy, okay? AJ is walking around like 250. Remember people talked about how, oh man, he got too many muscles, he's too big, got to trim down. Well, here's a guy in Ngannou, nobody's saying that shit about him. And when you say, yeah, but his gas tank, what about his gas tank? If you watch the fight, I just watched it last night. I just sat there and watched Fury versus Ngannou. And I feel the same way. It was just anticipation in that fight. It wasn't much going on. They hyped this fight up like this was some super fight. It was not a lot going on. They both were hesitant, missed a lot of punches, a lot of feinting and holding, and it just wasn't a lot happening. And after he dropped Fury in that third round, then the anticipation is, can he knock him out? And that's pretty much what it was, man. I mean, one of the commentators said in the fourth round, the fight has already over-delivered. No. The hell you mean? Over-delivered because there was a knockdown by a guy who people thought Fury was going to walk through because nobody knew anything about him in terms of boxing experience or whatever. Listen, it wasn't a lot going on. I see many things that AJ could take advantage of. And I don't give a fuck if you're 500 pounds, man. Bottom line is this. Francis Ngannou has never been in a situation. He's never been in a dogfight in a boxing match. Okay, he's never had to do that. In the MMA cage, and this is why I say to people, when you lose, that means somebody beat you, legitimately beat you, when people were saying you're unbeatable. Now you come into boxing and only 2 fights. This is going to be your second fight. I don't care what Dewey Cooper says. I don't care what nobody says. The only way I see AJ losing this fight is if AJ don't believe in himself. He believes the hype, and he's just overly cautious and not letting his hands go and letting this guy be first and AJ not responding like he's supposed to. Otherwise, Francis Ngannou doesn't have enough. I don't care what Dewey Cooper says. The furious fighting fist of Francis Ngannou will definitely end Anthony Joshua. Yeah, it all sounds good, but I just feel like listening to all of this talk and all of this praise about Ngannou, like he has all the experience in the world. If you listen to Ngannou talk, he's talking about how he's still learning and he's just coming to do his best to try to get the win. And even though he has confidence in himself, that doesn't mean that the fight's going to go his way. But he's coming. Francis Ngannou is talking with sense. It's the people around him that's trying to build him up to be this monster. He's not human. Like he said, only people, if a guy can't, what he say? He's referencing something and was saying if a guy don't get hit or don't get hurt or something, he's not human or whatever. So, they try to build these guys up to be anything but human. Now, Tyson Fury intervened and said something, and Francis Ngannou addressed him. Now, people found it humorous, and I'm going to tell you what was funny about it to me was when he told him, you're lucky that the boxing rules are protecting you because outside of boxing, you're nothing to me. And he told him how he'd destroy him just like that. No, okay. Now, because Tyson Fury talks so much trash, I can understand why people was like, yeah, shut his big mouth up. He talked too much. I get that. Now, in terms of Francis Ngannou saying what he said, well, here's the reality. On one hand, you're saying you always loved the box. Now you get the opportunity. So it's irrelevant and hypocritical to bring up if this was MMA. It's not MMA. You signed up to be a boxer. That's what you said you want to do. So what you do to him in an MMA cage has nothing to do with what you can or can't do in a boxing ring. They're two different sports. You know, Clarissa Shields is the best boxer, best female boxer in the world. Okay, in boxing. When it comes to MMA, no, she's not the best female MMA fighter. She wants to be. It's two different sports. And she has not had an early start with MMA. She got a late start in it. Okay? So for you know, anyone to resort to, oh well, you know, if it was MMA, and Eddie Hearn told a story about how Tyson Fury walked up to Ngannou and was telling, you called me a coward, or like he tried to press him or whatever, and he was saying, I wouldn't suggest he tries to get into a grapple or a fight with Ngannou. Okay, listen, let me tell you like this. Fury wasn't going to do shit but what he did. Walk up and talk and nothing physical. 2, okay, we know Tyson Fury's not hopping in no goddamn cage. No different from Wilder talking about he wanted to fight Ngannou twice. He wanted to fight him once in boxing and then in the cage. He think he can beat him in both. Wilder is going to be 39 in October. Wilder said he wants to fight until he's 40. Wilder is not even active in boxing. So you really believe that Wilder at 40 years old is going to retire from boxing and become an MMA guy? First of all, wrong sport. Your legs are too goddamn scrawny. From the waist down, man, you like you got polio. You are not going to go into an MMA cage and fight nobody. And them little chicken sticks, them little fucking guitar string legs, Deontay Wilder might break his leg. He throw a kick, the leg he's standing on might just snap in half. He has no footwork in boxing. So to be able to make them quick transition moves, to throw hard, quick kicks, can you really see Wilder doing that? Just talking. Okay, Fury talks about he'll fight any man, any day, and all that. Yeah, I know, right. Always, I will, but you never do. So all of that talk to try to sell a fight, to try to get more people watching them. Because why? The algorithms is this. You're talking about boxing and MMA in the same video, which means the video is going to be seen by many people. Okay? More than just boxing fans. Have MMA fans watching as well. So with all that being said, you know, yeah, Ngannou says that boxing he always loved, and now he gets the opportunity. So don't resort to talking about if it was MMA. It's not MMA. It's boxing. The money's not the same in MMA, and that's why you wanted to box. Okay, the money's not the same in MMA, and you know that. So you get the opportunity to box, and in only your second fight, you fight AJ. And like you said, man, you're grateful for the opportunity. You know, okay, fine. So, for that matter, you can say that to any boxer. Okay, you beat me in a boxing ring, but you won't beat me in MMA. That's stupid to even say. Boxers don't listen. Boxers that even say they don't really like MMA, they don't like all the grabbing and hugging. Okay, the difference with boxers and MMA guys is boxers that don't really like MMA. That's all it is. They just don't like MMA. The MMA guys are always the ones talking about how they don't make what the boxers make, but they can beat boxers. Well, if you can't get past them hands, you won't. And that's the thing. The money's not nearly the same. So you decide to jump in a boxing ring for the money. And when you get in there and you get beat, then the excuse is always, all right, I fought him in boxing while he fight me in MMA. Well, because you guys are not going to make nothing. Why the hell why would you do it? Unless MMA is something that you want to do. This is exactly why I say you guys are a bunch of haters and a bunch of hypocrites, because Clarissa Shields is doing both, but all y'all do is give her shit. And she's legitimately doing both. Okay. And I tell people, for Clarissa Shields, there's no easy fights in the PFL. She's green. There are no easy fights for her. So, at the end of the day, yeah, it's just what people like to do. So yeah, I saw all of that, and you guys know I don't care about all the theatrics and everything, man. I mean, it was funny when he said what he said to Fury, just for the fact that Fury talks so much trash, like I said. But overall, it's like, all right, well, you know, Fury didn't sign up to fight you in MMA. He signed up to fight you in boxing. So don't resort to the MMA talk if outside of boxing, the boxing rules are protecting you. Okay, that would be like a football player telling a basketball player, you call that full contact? Man, y'all always leaning on each other, jumping, running, bouncing the ball, little cute sport. Anybody can shoot a ball through a hoop. Anybody can pass the ball. And man, what we do is real. It's punishing. It's physical. Yo, I could play basketball better than you. I could come into your sport and beat you. You ain't built like us. We football players. We play different. This basketball player is not telling this football player he's better than him in football. It's the other way around, right? But let's just say basketball is paying more. So the dude jumps in the court, gets his ass smoked, he gets cooked. Now all of a sudden he wants to start talking about, all right, play me in football. Nah, that's not the agreement. Your dumbass agreed to go and get in the play basketball. You got cooked and just accept it. Like I'm gonna play you in football for? I never said I could beat you in football. You said you beat me in basketball. And you got your ass whooped. Simple. Simple. So, again, AJ needs to punish Ngannou and beat the fuck out of him and put it into this circus shit. Did you guys not hear Eddie Hearn finally say the same thing at the press conference? That this is why he was talking about what, they respect Ngannou and what he's done and everything. And, but like for AJ, he needs to close the show on him and put an end to all of this. That's what he meant when he said put an end to all of this. That's what he's talking about. All this crossover nonsense is, you got Cyborg talking shit about Shields and she wants to come to all this. It's like, man, look, you guys like it's just getting crazy now, man. You got The Rock talking about running for president again. Yeah, we're gonna really have a president doing the people's eyebrow and all this goofy shit. Like, just saying, y'all. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's just funny to me, man, because I'm I don't know, man, if I'm the only one. It doesn't matter. But boxing just don't have that same spark it used to have. And I'm being honest with you guys, man. It's really hard for me to get myself up to do these videos, man. Don't get me wrong. I respect what's happening with the Saudis, like what they're doing boxing-wise, with putting the cards together and all. But overall, it's just too much drama, man. It's too much talk. It's too much, nonsense. So this is a solid card, once again, the Saudis are putting on. And then outside of the Saudis, it's like, what else is going on? So it limits what you really want to talk about, because it's like all you get is a bunch of talk and threats and insults. But where's the action? Where's the desire to be the best fighter? It's like, no, the object is I want to say I'm the richest fighter. I'm the most paid, or everything other than I'm looking forward to this physical challenge. So anyway, hopefully the right thing happened for boxing, because I just love to watch boxing. And let me say this in closing this video. I want you guys to use your common sense. I don't care. I don't know Clarissa Shields personally. I don't know Alicia Baumgartner personally. I don't know, I've met some people and, know some of them, whatever. But like, I'm not one of these people. Like I said, I'm not a fan of anyone's. Let me say this, okay? All of the motherfuckers are arrogant. They all have a degree of arrogance. They all have a huge degree of entitlement. And for all of you lame guys that's running around here talking about how beautiful this woman is, and how sexy she is, and you want her to punch you in the face, and you want to be abused by all this goofy, nerd, stupid, sissy, wimp shit y'all talking. Let me explain something to you. Every one of those women look down on you. Nigga, you broke. You ain't got enough money to take care of me. Motherfucker, you got a normal job. You don't make 6 or 7 figures. We not in the same tax bracket. What you gonna do for me? You gonna wash my car, pump my gas? Wash my underwear? Like, what you gonna do for me? You can't do nothing for me. That's how they look at you. So all of this, I love my fans, no, they wouldn't date a fan that don't have what they have, okay? And this is why, the same thing, you heard Baumgartner referred to Adrian Broner as being broke, right? Same thing. When you hear Javante Davis talk about niggas is broke and this and that, okay. Let me tell you the difference with a guy. If a guy's willing to take you, ladies, and he's rich, there's nothing you bring to the table that he needs. And that's what he tell you, bitch, you broke, you ain't got shit. Everything you got's because of me. Fuck out of here with that shit, bitch. You ain't go back to the hood, bitch. Go back to your broke ass. Like that's it. Oh, she got a fat ass though. Yo, she got some titty. Yo, that's all that comes down to. And that's the one difference between men and women. A woman don't want for the arrogant ones that think that they shit don't stink and think that they all that high value, low value nonsense. They look down on you. So when you out there sitting up there in them stands, chanting, yeah, way up in the nosebleed sections because you can't afford the front row, anything close to ringside, you think that they date you? For the females, the same thing. These dudes, yeah, you got something physically he want. Nah, that ass fat. I just had to clap them cheeks. That's all it is. They don't give a fuck about you. It's strictly a sex thing. They don't need you. They travel, they move around, they screwing around with somebody else anyway. So, no, they don't look at you as an equal. You hear me say all the time, I don't see a celebrity no different than the motherfucker that work at Domino's Pizza. Or that nurse, or that fireman, or whoever, that truck driver. You all the same to me. We're human beings. Your occupation does not make you better than anyone. Now, I'm just bringing this up because I see a lot of lame-ass comments. I hear a lot of stupid, ignorant conversations where people are willing to make bitches out of themselves to appease a person. Let's keep it boxing. Let's keep it, we're human beings. None of these, I'm not starstruck. I'm not overwhelmed by any of it. I've been around that lifestyle. I know what it consists of. And I know the mentality and understand how people see each other. You understand what I'm saying? So while they look down on you, you look up at them and you think that you're the luckiest man in the world if one of these women accepted you and vice versa with the females. No, don't put nobody on no pedestal. We're all equals. That's all. We have different goals. We have different visions. We accomplish different things. Aside from that, no. And this is why I will never be able to relate to a whole lot of people. They won't be able to relate to me either. Because while they on some sucker shit, I'm all the way real. And I just wanted to get that out and, make it known. Stop making fools out yourselves. And I'm just telling you, all you motherfuckers walk around here telling me how beautiful that these fighters are, how this and that, and you think they're innocent because of their looks and it, man, please. That fucking woman would never date none of you. She'd feel insulted if you told her you have a crush on her. Nigga, you broke. A crush. Do you understand that? Okay. Bottom line. Ladies, you meet one of these rich dudes, they basically look at you as a day of the week. All right, now you know what? I got a shorty coming through the night. What's today? It's Monday. All right, fuck now. You know what? Yo, I'm gonna hit you Friday, yo. Ain't no big deal. Cause you know what? They got other females lined up somewhere. They got an ass just as fat as yours, face just as pretty as yours, if not better, and probably got more to offer financially. But at the same time, it's just like you just a number. That's all. Y'all don't understand how rich folks think because y'all ain't been around them. You don't understand the lifestyle. They don't see you. I don't care. You can look in the mirror and you can think to yourself, damn, I'm fine. They don't give a fuck about that. Nothing. They don't care about anything. So, with all that being said, y'all, I'm looking forward to some good fights. Between Parker and Zhang, I just feel like may the best man win. I feel like that with any of them. Now, of course, I want to see AJ beat Ngannou. And I want him to fuck Ngannou up. Nothing personal with Ngannou, but for the sake of boxing, he need that ass whooped. If Anthony Joshua or any other fighter was jumping in an MMA cage, the whole MMA world would be against Anthony Joshua. Okay? And the reason that they're pulling for Ngannou is because he's an MMA guy. So even though it's in a boxing ring, they're hoping Ngannou win just because he comes from an MMA. He's done an MMA background. He's an MMA fighter. So they want to see him win. Because in their minds, it's a victory for MMA. No, they're not doing MMA, they're boxing. Yeah, but look, here's a guy with no experience. No. And again, I addressed in the last video, he has boxing experience. Yeah, he was on an amateur team. So what we was told, he had none. So that means he walks in there fresh out of just an MMA gym, not knowing nothing about boxing. And Dewey Cooper and Mike Tyson taught him so fast he absorbed like, see, lies. He already has some background. And bottom line is, he's in there with AJ. And I will tell you guys something. If Francis Ngannou looks, if AJ doesn't go in there and destroy him and knock him out, and let's say it goes the distance and Ngannou actually puts up a good fight, being that Wilder didn't put up a good fight against Parker, I mean, the anticipation of Wilder versus Ngannou might turn some heads. If he puts up a good fight, Wilder fans will be scared to death. But what I think for Ngannou is they want to see Ngannou shine too, and they feel like if he wins against a big name opponent, that'll put him in a position where people will want to see him. And that's why I'm saying, like, even like a returning Dillian White, you know, at some point, who knows? But with Ngannou doesn't want to start from the bottom and work up. And the fact that they see him as a draw because he's a draw in MMA, if he holds his own against AJ, even in defeat, you might see him versus the winner of Parker and Zhang, which is unfair because to get a loss and then get rewarded by fighting the former unified champ, then lose to the former unified champ to find yourself fighting another former world champion, you know, and that's what it would be. So let's just say if he was to be able to hold his own, it'll kind of be like a Derek Chisora story. But they're like, okay, most people thought he really beat Tyson Fury. He lost to AJ, but he put up a hell of a fight. Then he fought, just say, Zhang, and he put up a hell of a fight. So now it would be maybe the position of, does he fight a Dillian White or Deontay Wilder? And those are the top names in that generation. So it'd be one of those things you got to remember. And Ngannou was 38. So his clock is ticking as well. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we'll see what's going to happen. Tell me what y'all think. AJ or Ngannou, Parker or Zhang. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.